Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today on the Divine Messages podcast. My name is Karina, and I am a psychic medium out of Calgary, Alberta. I'm really excited for my next guest to come on here. We met on Instagram a few years ago, and we've been in touch over the years. She is a psychic medium and spiritual life coach from South Carolina. And today, for the first time ever on the podcast, I'm going to be having a reading done on me. So, everyone, please help me welcome Angelique to the podcast. Angelique, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I feel so honored. I feel so honored. So thank you.
I'm so excited that you're on here because out of nowhere, I saw a flash of your face before my eyes, and I was told by my guides to have you on here. And when I reached out to you, you're like, "Oh, so you'd like me to do a reading for you on there?" And I went, "Oh, oh my God, wait, oh, whoa, okay, I don't know if I'm prepared for this." But here you are. And I always do trust
Ta-da.
my guides, and I think for whatever reason, they wanted me to be a little bit vulnerable. Not that I'm not vulnerable on the podcast as it is, but extra vulnerable and open so
Yeah.
that I guess, sometimes the healers need healing too. And whatever happens today, I'm open to. I'm nervous as hell. I'm not going to lie, but I wouldn't do it if I didn't trust you.
Well, thank you. That means the world to me. I feel very blessed. I'm so nervous too because I'm like, what was your question?
I know. And do you know what's funny is that when I first even thought about having you on, I was like planning on doing something completely different. And then you had mentioned, okay, so I can, I'll be doing a reading for you. And I went, oh my God, wait, okay, yes, I will take it. And I I feel like I think it's important for people like us that really do a lot of work for others that sometimes we forget to have the work done on us. And that level of trust that we need to have. I have some really amazing healers in my group and in my field and around
Yeah.
me, but I feel like sometimes you meet somebody and you kind of go, okay, I feel drawn to them. There's got to be a reason. And I think you and I met on Instagram. I don't even actually know the full story, or I can't even remember because it's been a few years, but I remember trusting you right away.
And it's so crazy because I feel like it's been more than a few years ago. I feel like it's been I want to say, I feel like we came into each other's lives, like I want to say at the beginning of my journey as a medium. Like I want to say like the first year or two that I would actually acknowledge the fact that I had the abilities. And I was throwing it out there to the world. So it's that time of your development and growth where you're giving friends readings and things like that, and
Hmm.
or you're just starting to give professional readings. I think that's when we met because I remember you sent me a DM asking me, for some reason you were drawn to my post and asked if I could give a read on uh, someone from at a distance,
Yes.
and if I could pick anything up, and it was I was really shocked at what came through at the time.
Well, that's it.
It was very confirming, and I was like, really, it's true, because I just what I did was I channeled, and I just wrote everything down, and then I just typed it back to you. I'm like, this is what came through for me. And
Yeah.
you confirmed it. And I think, even as, I want to say, now that I've been doing this for quite a while now, I think we're still a little shocked when people confirm stuff. It's like, really? That
Like I was
it's true?
right. Oh my God, it's true.
That's awesome.
It is really
you
awesome.
know
And
so, and I think that's part of the wonder of it. It's like, when we get information that there's no way that, we could know, or, that you can't Google it or whatever. I just think it's just really the magic of spirit coming through. And I was so grateful to have that encounter with you, because I think you also helped confirm things for me that I'm like, okay, like, this is real.
I can
This is
see,
real.
I can do it. Yeah, because
This is real.
something made me reach out to you, and I said to you, I was like, can I trade you? Like, I really need some advice. And for whatever reason, like you're in the States, I've never met you in person, but I felt really drawn to ask. And when you came back with the information and I said, holy crap, that is spot on. You know nothing about my life. That's, nothing of that stuff had been posted anywhere online. Like, it was very personal. And from there, I trusted you completely, and hence why you're even
Oh,
here today. Because
thanks.
I thought, no, you're getting it right. And over the years, yeah, we've stayed in touch and kind of, followed each other
Yeah.
and stuff. But then here we are today, and for whatever
Ta-da.
reason, they're like, "Here, Karina, let's just put her on, and you get a reading done." And I'm like, "Oh God," because again, I am very open in so many ways, but also quite guarded too, especially when it comes to other intuitives and other healers and stuff. I think I just I know that it can be so intimidating, and sometimes we protect our energy, and we don't always like to be vulnerable because we're so open and honest with other people, and telling them what they need to do in their lives, that it's sometimes hard for us to hear it, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure. And, it's so true with your inner circles. I'm so grateful for the circle of friends that I have around me, and we're always giving each other reads all the time. But there's sometimes that, and I don't know how you feel about this, it's like sometimes I have to get a read from a complete stranger just because
Yes,
I'm like, all my stuff. Like
that's right.
I feel like you're a little too close to me right now to like not be unbiased. And it's not that I don't, I trust, like I have some friends that I know that it's like they're going to cut it to me straight. They're not going to
Yeah,
sugarcoat, which I'm very grateful for those friends. But then there's sometimes where I'm like, I need someone that's like outside of my little bubble. And it's true, because I feel like it's like as intuitive as we are, and as much as I like to say we all listen to our inner GPS, I do feel like there's times where it's like I just need an outside confirmation. I just
yes,
need to know that I'm on that right path. And and it's so funny because it's like you'll always get it back, and then it's like, yeah, I kind of knew that already, but but we're
yeah,
human, we're that balance of human and spirit. So I think it is important to kind of connect with people in the community, and just and being that vulnerable in that vulnerable state. I know it's not an easy thing for psychic
nope.
mediums, healers, the all of the above. It's always I think it's can be a challenge for
I think
sure.
it's more intimidating because of the information that we deliver to
Yeah,
others. That's what we're most afraid of, is that's going to be delivered to us. And we're like, whoa, wait a second. I don't know if I can handle it. And that's,
it's
I mean,
true.
how I feel at least. And you're right about people that we know that are in our group. Like, I have so many amazing psychic mediums and healer friends, but they do know a lot about my life. And so I know that, yes, you've seen maybe some posts on social media, and same, I've seen some of yours, but we don't know the personal things that are behind the scenes. And that's what
Yeah.
I've said to my guides, that it's okay to come in and do this and allow you to get in there and to see. And
Hmm.
we'll just kind of wing it and see what happens. So whenever you're
Well,
ready, you
I
tell
have
me.
to, sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, no,
Uh,
that's okay. What did you
but
say?
I was going to say, I was laughing at myself because I just automatically assumed we were going to do a read, or I was going to read some, like, I don't know if there was going to be a caller coming in. I was just automatically assumed that there was going to be a read. And then you were like, I wasn't even thinking about that. And I was like, and then of course, like, I want to say my self-confidence and my nervousness, because I shared with you privately that like gallery reads and putting myself out there in front of a crowd is something that's a new thing for me. So I was like,
Mhm.
what did I just do? So I was like, she
What
wasn't
did
even
I
going to do
sign
that,
up
Angelique. She
for?
was just going to interview you, but it clearly
I
spirit
was.
is working with the both of us here.
Seriously, I had a whole different plan. And then when you said it, I went, oh my God. Okay, yes. I guess this is what they want us to do. And so
Oh
here
my
we
gosh,
are.
yeah.
I know it's intimidating, but
It's all
the,
good. It's all good.
the
I
way
mean,
it
this is what
goes.
we're here for. This is what we're here for.
That's
So
right.
did you want me to dive in, or do you want to talk a little bit more? You tell me how you want to go here. So
You can,
I'm here for you.
I would say I'm pausing as I say this, but yes, dive right in. Go for
Dive
it.
right.
Whatever comes up, by all means, you just hit
Okay.
me. Okay.
Okay. So I always ask my clients, because whenever I'm doing a reading, I always ask, I like to let spirit, like I shared with you before, is I like to get in the back seat and let spirit drive. And in that is, if I always say, keep it as generic as possible. I don't want any information. I know we're both kind of on that. We're both, mediums, so we kind of know how it works. But I like to say this just because I think it's really important to share that it's not about me. So like if you have a question that you want answered, and
Hmm.
I always say this at the beginning of a reading, like if you wanted to know, something about your career or, your love life or, so, whatever it is, whatever subject or topic you really need answers on, it's
Uh-huh.
not that spirit won't know that you don't want to know that, but if they go, girl, like we really need to focus on your relationships, and I'm sure you've experienced this, you could go like a whole 2 hours on your relationship and all they wanted to know was if they were going to get a new job,
100%. Yes, because there's things we're not supposed to know either, because we can be controlling
Yeah.
and I can be like
Yeah.
that. Everybody knows that. So,
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's sometimes it's a misconception, it's like because I have so many clients who are like, just want to see what spirit says, or I just want to see what comes through from spirit. And I can do that. And
yeah.
spirit's going to tell you whatever they feel is at the, I want to say, the front of the room.
Yes.
They'll bring up, this is what we want to talk about. But I have to let people know that I'm just a channel, I'm just a vessel, I'm just listening in. I am, just allowing spirit to communicate to me whatever comes through. So with that, and then I also want to say it's like at the beginning of sessions, and I'm doing this just, kind of for you as well, letting you know that I'm asking that all messages that come through are for your highest and of course best self.
Yes.
Um, and that I believe in free will, all that goody stuff. I
Yeah.
don't know if you want the whole spiel, but
No, I totally get it, but you can tell
uh,
everybody. Yeah, absolutely.
okay, yeah. So, whenever I'm doing specifically a psychic read, I always let people know that I believe in free will. So the choice is always yours. I want to say regardless of what comes out of my mouth, take what resonates, put the rest in your back pocket, because some stuff may not come through till later. Or, it's like, it doesn't feel right. And it's like, that's up to you to decide whether or not, you want to take that information and run with it or not. And then, I also say that, our futures are fluid. So like when I'm doing a psychic read, I'm reading your energy today. So it doesn't mean that things can't shift and change. And you also have the free will of other people too. That's like, there's a lot of factors that can come
That
into
is
play into a
so
psychic read.
true. I say the
So
same
it's like,
thing.
it's so hard. And, I want to say, like, for me, it's like, I want to say my strongest, Claire is clairsentient. So I'm very tapped into energy. I'm an off the charts empath. So I want to say I can usually tell, like, if something feels like there's more of a probability
Hmm.
versus a possibility, I would say the energy feels much more grounded for me.
Yeah.
So I'll use words like it feels more of a probability, or this feels really good. Those
Yes.
are like my little keywords. I was telling you, like, if you hear me go, this feels really good, like it's probably going to happen.
Okay, good. Love
But
it.
with all of that in mind, I would say, is there anything that you would like me to focus on, or do you want me to just dive in and let spirit just do their thing? Because
I always
I never
say
told you the 411 on it. So
that's right. I just say let them lead the way because they will know me by now. There's certain things that I do want to know, but I also get told that I'm not supposed to know all of them. So I'm going to just let them drive this time.
okay. All right. So just give me a second. And
Yeah,
do I
absolutely.
have permission to tap into your beautiful aura and spirit family? I would
Yes.
like to ask permission first too as well.
Always. Yes.
Okay, all right. So give me a second to just tap in and then we'll see. So I feel like I'm already getting a million things. So hold on a second.
Oh boy. Okay. Here we go.
Okay. Sometimes, spirit works with me in signs and symbols. So like I always say I'm also a designer by trade as well. So like I'm a visual storyteller.
Okay.
And I always like to paint the picture. So right away, spirit is, I'm wanting to go into psychic energy. I don't know if we need medium energy today. like if you want a medium read, we can do that as well. But
Sure. If
I'm
they come
I'm like
in,
really wanting to tell the story.
yep, whatever.
But I feel like it's like what spirit is showing me, and how I view your timeline, or when I tap into your timeline, is like I see your present life, what in front of me, your future's to your right, and I always love to tell my clients is that, and your past timeline is to my left, and that's how I work visually in front of me like a movie screen. So they're showing me like right now in your present life, and what I'm feeling is like, girl, like I feel like I'm in a race car. Like I literally feel like I'm in a race car and I'm going 125 miles an hour. Can you connect with that at all?
That sounds like my life completely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I
Yes.
just feel like I'm not getting off this highway anytime soon. Like whatever's going on. And I feel like I'm wanting just to talk into they're literally showing me like multiple balls in the air. So that says every aspect of my life. They're not like pulling one down right now. I just
Mhm.
feel like I'm wanting to hit the brakes. And I feel like this is your message.
That's
um
good.
I'm just wanting to tap into, I feel like this is your energy, your energy, your energy. And I'm literally wanting you to slow down, like just like take a deep breath and slow down. I just keep seeing I'm full steam ahead. I mean the only I'm trying to dig a little deeper here with this, but it's like I literally just feel like um I don't even have time to it's like focus in on one thing. And I can relate to this with myself in the sense that it's like you just have so many things going on at the same time. It's almost impossible to
Yes.
kind of like spirits using like picking an apple from a tree. It's
Hmm.
like there's like a whole tree of apples and it's like I don't even have time. I don't even it's like I want to keep going. I don't have time. I don't have time to even pick one single apple. I don't have time to pick an apple.
Yep.
I don't know which end is up, is the energy that I'm feeling. And I feel like, and I know this could sound probably very generic, but sometimes like that again, it's not up to me.
That's
But
right.
I'm wanting to glue you to the seat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of wanting you to kind of like sit down, and I like my sign for spirit is when I need to take a pause moment, is like spirit literally will pull me by the back of my shirt and want to sit me back into a chair and going, girl, you need a paused moment. You need a paused moment. It's like your decision making, I want to say it's like in any aspect of your life that you're seeking information or like seeking answers, you won't be able to find until you sit and ground. I want to go sit and ground.
Yeah.
Sit and
That makes a lot of sense.
okay.
Hmm.
And I feel like it's like whatever answers you're seeking, and sometimes they keep this again generic, like I mean I can tap into different aspects of your life if you'd like me to do that.
Hmm.
um but right now I want to say it's like they're letting me know the answers are in front of you, like literally if someone wrote them on a chalkboard, they're there for you.
Hmm.
Like I don't feel like, I feel like they're saying like you already know all the answers and everything that you need to know. Like I literally feel like it's like someone wrote it on a chalkboard and they're right there. And
Hmm.
I feel like it's like if the moment you take that time to just kind of sit in your own space and just, I want to say, sit in the question or the why. I want to say the why. I want to sit in the why. I want to sit in the why, they're saying. Um, Sitting in the why, the answer will reveal itself to you. Um, and I want to say it's all right. They're wanting me to go now. So if that resonates with you and that makes sense,
Hmm.
okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Okay,
It
that was
does.
very broadband. Now I'm going to
No,
dive a
but I
little
understand.
deeper.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So usually spirit will give me an overarching theme to start off with.
Yes.
And then depending on the amount of time that, we have with one another, that's when I can really dive deep with certain things. But like I do feel like it's like they're wanting me to tap into things moving forward for you. It's like I do feel like it's so funny. It's like I'm already feeling your energy more grounding. Does that make sense to you right now?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm sinking down in my chair. They're like, she's getting it. That's what
I
they're
do,
telling
because sometimes I need to be told it, but yeah, I
me.
do. I know they yell at me all the time, but sometimes I forget to
Me
listen.
too. Me too. I had it all
Uh,
day yesterday. That was my whole day yesterday. But like I all of a sudden I just felt a little bit more grounded. So I was like, oh, she's feeling it. It's like because I'm
yeah.
feeling it too empathically. But I feel like as I'm going into my future timeline with you and all the things that are going on with your life, it's so funny because right away they're going to children because they're showing me a small child holding by the hand now. And I know I understand your children are older, correct? Like not
Yeah.
like little. Yeah. Okay. But they're showing me in the sense of like this is a child of yours, and they're showing me as I'm going into my future timeline, I'm holding them by the hand. Um, and I feel like I'm wanting to share with you. Um, this is really lovely. Okay, let me dive into a little bit deeper with this.
Hmm.
Okay. This is so interesting. They're gonna make me cry. I'm sorry. Pull back, pull back, pull back. I always feel like sometimes like when I get emotional, my link wavers.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like the answers you're seeking. And I know this is a very personal subject for you.
Hmm.
And we briefly talked about this at another time, but like I'm wanting to say this just popped in. And again, it's not up to me as to what messages come in, but I'm wanting to step into the future. What they're showing me is springtime. Like I feel like I'm seeing a bloom of flowers. I'm seeing a field of flowers. I feel like I'm getting the month of May. And I feel like it's like by that time, I want to say in the upcoming year,
Hmm.
2024, I feel like you're going to feel a lot more inner peace. And they're using the word resolve.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and and I love that. That's why I was getting emotional.
Hmm.
Because I just feel like everything that you've been going through, I feel like, and I'm getting chills, so spirit is confirming with me, and that's my sign that I'm on the right track. Yay, spirit. Um, so I feel like by springtime, I feel like it feels renewed. Whenever I think of springtime, I feel like I want to, oh, that's a really interesting word. Let me see if I can get another word. Thank you, Spirit. Hold on a minute.
Hmm.
Sometimes I gotta want to make sure I am interpreting it correctly. Um, it feels like no, they're wanting me to use this word. I don't know why I'm wanting to use the word second chances. Does that make any sense to you?
I think so. Yeah, that could make
Okay.
sense.
It doesn't really fit, but I almost feel like it's like I'm also getting like the word alternative or like alternate or
Okay.
like but it feels like a new, like it just feels like new beginnings, and I think that's where the second chances come in. It's and I don't know if second chances feels right, and so that's why sometimes like I hesitate, but
Yeah.
I'm sure you know, like when spirit repeats something more than once, like it there might be like a piece of the puzzle that may fit for you later um in alignment to that, and I don't know what that really means, but it doesn't matter, it's not
I
up to
think I
me.
do. May is a
Okay.
very important month for other reasons. So,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
Hmm.
okay, fantastic. So I want to say it's like the message that's really coming through. It's like there's second chances there, but there's also I just feel a lot of renewal, and I feel oh, that's so lovely. I hope you can feel this energy coming through on your side.
Hmm.
I feel like I am breathing new air. It's like
Yeah.
that. It's like that. You know how like for me, it's like during springtime and you smell like wild jasmine, and it's like it's just you're taking in the moment and being very present, and there's an enormous amount of inner peace. And I want to say by by that time next year, I feel like everything that you're encountering on your path, all of I want to say your obstacles
Yes.
or things that have been left unanswered, I feel like by that time, I'm going to feel renewed or a lot more centered, and just, and I want to say I feel like there's a lot, they're using the word clarity. I have a lot more clarity.
Hmm.
Um, and things feel very, like, I want to say the waters are calm. The waters are calm.
I will take
So
that.
just know everything that you're going through. Like, and I feel like it's like, I feel like too, they're wanting you I hate saying this, but I'm like, it's like, for me, it's like, I always hate when they say this to me, but it's like, just
Mhm.
trust in the process. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't know whether I feel like, has that come through for you before?
Well, and the thing is, that's been a struggle for me over the last year, especially. And I'm being honest here. I preach it, I talk about it, but I've actually struggled with the trust factor of the whys for sure. So
Yeah.
that goes back to the why. Um, and I have, we don't need to get into too personal of the story, but basically, I have struggled with faith in that sense because I'm trying to understand the bigger picture. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, that definitely makes sense that I need to trust it and trust them and trust the journey and the path. And, I preach this, and that's what makes me upset about myself is that I'm like, yeah, I can tell everybody else what to do. And I know you can understand this as well as a
Yeah.
psychic, but when we go through something in our journey, personally, and we don't have those answers, that's when it gets really confusing and the faith and the trust factor really waver. It's hard not to. So I
Oh,
definitely
for sure.
understand that. Mhm.
And I feel like a lot of times, whenever I want to say I get angry, like internally, like I don't understand something, or,
Mhm.
not that you feel like, I want to say when you are so tapped into your inner GPS, and you have the support on the other side. And to your point, it's like sometimes we don't get the answers for a reason,
Yes.
because we do have to let things unfold. And I think that's the only time I want to say we're able to be okay with that is when it does unfold and they're like, oh, that's why I didn't need to know. It's like we
Yeah.
just have to wait for the pieces of the puzzle to come together. And I think that's the hardest part for anybody, especially if you're like me and you have zero patience.
I have 0 and they know that. That's why I'm
and
like,
and
"Oh,
have and I want to say I've
yeah,
gotten better over the years, but a little bit of a control freak,
same." It's hard not to be as
so
psychics, right? Well, we're
I
giving
know.
solid information and validation to others for their timeline. So how can we not feel that? It's impossible. It's just impossible.
It's impossible. I think the best way to, I want to say, bring yourself back to center
Hmm.
is, just kind of remind yourself that you're not always going to have the answers. It's like you're not meant to know it in that moment. Or mine, my guides are always saying, are you able to control that right now? Are you going to able to control that outcome? Like I'll literally hear them go, can you control this outcome? No, no.
Then let
Then
go.
why are you letting it ruin your day?
Right.
And then I'm like, damn, you're good.
Yeah, you're right. I know. Damn it.
Damn
And
it.
it's true
Damn
because
it.
I definitely need to, yeah, put some more trust in the universe and the path because it does what you were saying definitely makes sense to me. And I know it may not make sense to a lot of the listeners out there, but the
Yeah.
point of even us discussing this is that it does come down to faith and trust and believing that everything is for a reason and following the synchronicities. And I've been working really hard at gratitude lately just to remind myself of the blessings that I do have and to count those and waiting for the energy to shift?
Yeah, that's so important. I think we do forget a lot of times, and I know this is a big part of most spiritual practices is just living in gratitude and in the moment,
Hmm.
and appreciating what you do have today. And I feel like there's so much that I don't think we're really meant to understand right away.
Hmm.
I think really there's beauty in the journey. The destinations are lovely, but the destinations aren't the end. It's like, you can climb a mountain, you can get to the top and grab the flag, but guess what? You got to climb back down.
That's right.
And guess what? There's going to be another mountain. There's always going to be another mountain to climb. And it doesn't mean that every mountain is going to be hard. A journey is a journey. It's like, there's always going to be, if I could use like a video game reference, there's always going to be another level.
Yeah.
um, to our learning and our growth. And, and if I think the hard part is too, and I hate this part, is like sometimes we hit the repeat button because we don't learn the lessons along the way, which is like even worse, I think.
It is.
I'm like, oh my
Over
gosh,
and over.
oh my gosh, why am I on the hamster wheel? Why am I still on this hamster wheel? And it's like, well,
That's right.
you keep brushing it under the rug, it's going to keep coming
Coming
back.
back. Yep.
And in different people in different situations, and until you get it. And I mean that's the beauty of it, but that's also the part that kind of stinks.
Right. No, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I do feel like for you with and I think this situation in which we're referring to, and I've kept it like pretty light, but I do feel like it's like what all the answers that you're seeking. I feel like you're going to have so much more clarity and inner peace. It is a little bit of time. I did feel like this was some time down the road. And again, I got the month of May. So, but
Okay.
I feel like Spirit is really wanting to show you, a little glimmer of hope in your lantern, to help guide your way, and letting you know that you're going to find it and you'll be at peace and in a much better space. And again, just know that it's coming.
Hmm.
It's coming. And I want to say that that felt very beautiful to me. That felt very grounded. That felt very, I want to say, experiential for me.
Hmm.
So whenever Spirit gives me like a full blown, like where I'm smelling wild jasmine, I want to say it's just they're really wanting to bring some peace to you and letting you know that it's going to be okay. It's going to be
That's
okay.
all I need to know. And I
It's
know
going to
that,
be,
we're not going to go into all the details right
yeah,
now, but
yeah, yeah,
to the listeners out there, sometimes we go through things on a personal level that we keep to ourselves, and that's kind of what Angelique is discussing and channeling. And I can't dive into all of it, but I will say that she is spot on with that, and I will take that beautiful message that things are going to be okay. And I'll just take that because that's kind of what I needed to hear today. So
okay, good. Good, good, good. It's so crazy how Spirit works with us, and I think because, and I'll share with the universe as well. Like I have a full-time day job. I work in publishing. I'm a designer. And so I love that Spirit works with me and like takes me on these storytelling journeys with people.
yeah,
Because it works for me. I mean, a visual storyteller during the day, and I'm a visual storyteller in my readings. So I love how they work with us as individuals, and what works.
I do too. I've got
But
to ask you something. Sorry, I didn't mean
yeah.
to cut you off,
No,
but
go ahead, ask away.
um, so I have like spirit kind of bugging me here. I don't know why. I just have them all around my shoulders, which is interesting. So I'm going to ask them to go to you. And if they do want to say anything to you, um, I'm just going to tell them to whisper in your ear if they can.
For a message for me or a message
Um,
for you?
I think it's my crowd for me
Oh, are
somehow.
you talking on the medium side? You're wanting me to
Yeah,
tap?
I think
Oh,
so. Yeah, I really think that
ooh.
they're coming in and that my hand's itchy. Like I got like sweats.
Okay.
So
It's so funny. It's like,
someone's got something to say.
it's really funny because my friends and I talk about like the different hats we wear when we're putting on our psychic hat and our medium hat.
Yeah.
Um, I have to like almost switch off
It's a
a
whole other channel, right?
it's a
Like it
whole other
literally it's
channel.
like a
I don't
radio
think people
station.
realize,
No, they
you
don't.
know, that psychic energy is, I want to say it's like I work very, it's kind of weird to say, like I almost work mediumistically in my psychic
Mhm.
energy because I work with guides and things. I don't know, it's kind of, I always find I get a little jumbled with psychic energy and medium energy, but when I stop into, because I'm reading your timeline versus reading a loved one or
Yeah,
tapping into a loved one, so it is like a different switch.
it's
But at the
true.
same time, it's just like, even though I'm listening to guides, it's different than loved ones. It's hard to explain.
It is.
It's so,
Well, do you know
it's
what I
so hard to
say?
explain.
One of the things that I teach, especially when I do like mediumship classes and stuff for the students, I'll tell them that every medium is a psychic, but not every psychic is a medium. So when we are psychic mediums, yes, psychic work is reading energy, tapping into guides. It's much easier to do because it's on a very different wavelength and a different channel. So then mediumship is like matching a frequency on the other side. It's very high pitched. They have to lower their energy. We have to raise ours and meet them in the middle at that radio station. And so, yes, mediumship is much more difficult. But
Yeah, I
when we're
think so
called into
too.
that, it's once you get into the channel and you turn it on and you fine tune it, it just becomes clear.
Oh, well, I can feel the room that you're talking about of family members now. Now that I feel like I'm switching over. So let me just take a
Yeah.
second to see who wants to step forward. I feel like it's like
Yeah.
I already feel like I'm wanting to talk to hold on a minute. Let me just take a second
Yeah.
because I feel
You
like
take your
I've got a
time.
couple of people, but I just want to
Yeah. There was a crowd around me. That's why I was like,
yeah, it's
they're
like
on
who's
my
stepping
back.
forward. It's really interesting. I feel like right away I've got like a grandmother can you take mom's mom in spirit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I she's showing me my sign that you're two peas in a pod. Were you two really close?
Oh my God. I have goosebumps down my whole body. My hair on my arms is, yes. So, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because right away she's just, well, it could be why maybe you feel her around you because I feel like it's like she's just giving me this huge big hug. Have you been feeling her energy around you a lot?
Always. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Sorry. I'm getting teary eyed
she's
here because
like,
there's
she's like, you're
tears.
not on this alone. You're not doing this alone. I feel like she's wanting you to know that she's got your back.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like, oh my gosh, she's giving me chills now.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like this is like uh I feel like when she was here, she was a really big support for you, correct? Can you take that
Yeah.
with
She
her?
was amazing.
She's like, why do you, she's like, that's not going to change when I'm in spirit, but you already know this, but I'm just confirming it for you
I
because I
know.
don't know whether you need to hear it or not. But like,
Sometimes,
I feel
yeah.
like it's like, because she's standing behind you, like right now, she's showing me she's got both of her hands on your shoulders. Can you feel that?
Yeah. And I was just looking at her picture the other day. It's funny.
Okay, okay.
Sorry. I'm
Because
crying again. Here. You're
she's
making me
like,
cry, Angelique.
I'm
Nobody
so
makes me
sorry. I'm
cry.
so sorry.
Just kidding.
You have her full support. I almost
Yeah.
want to say it's like whatever you need for her to do, like, I feel like it's like she'll do it for you. Like, I feel like this is definitely a woman. Like, I have to tell you, like,
Mhm.
this is like, no, like, don't mess with her.
Yeah. She was
Correct?
a force. She was the
Yeah.
kindest soul, but so strong.
I know, like, and
Yeah.
I was going to say a force to be reckoned with. Like, I just feel like just very, to your point, very, very loving. Like, I just feel like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is a person I want in my corner at
Yeah.
all times. Did she used to smoke?
No.
What is the
Um,
connection to her and like, why am I seeing a cigarette? That's like really, really specific.
I think I know what that means, but it's not for her, and
It's
it's
not
not
for
someone
her.
in spirit either. I think it's
Is that
do you want,
someone around you?
well, do you want me to tell you what I think it is?
Because like for some reason she's really bringing an emphasis on smoking.
I
And I
quit.
trust that message coming through. Is someone
Yeah.
around you smoking?
Well, I quit 2 years ago because I was told by a psychic that I had till I was 47 to quit.
Okay.
Um, and I'm
Okay.
turning 48 actually in
Are
a
you
couple
still
months
smoking,
here.
girl?
No, I quit 2 years ago. So
Okay,
that
good,
maybe
good,
she's
good,
like
good,
happy
good.
because I really did get the message
Okay.
that I wasn't going to be
Okay.
okay if I continued on. So if
Okay.
anything, all I thought about when you said smoking was because I made
Okay.
that huge decision to quit
Oh, that's
smoking.
fantastic. I would
Mm.
definitely take that because I want to say, like, for me, whenever spirit shows me a symbol, like multiple times, I know there's a reason why I need to talk
Yes.
about smoking. And
Yeah.
it's not always, as you know, it's not always about her smoking.
Right.
But right away she showed me a cigarette in my hand,
Yeah, that was me.
so
Yeah.
I was like, well, who's the smoker? Well, who's the
Hmm.
smoker that's around you?
Hmm.
For some reason, I want to talk about smoking. And it just felt like a big emphasis. Can you take something about her with, there's something about her clothing she's bringing up. Does she love like bright colors? Can you take like bright colors with her in her
Yeah,
clothes?
I know exactly what she's talking about, but yeah, keep
Uh,
going. Hmm.
okay.
It's spot
Um,
on, but it's funny.
I just feel, well, I feel like with her personality, she's vibrant all around.
Yeah.
And
It's funny she'd bring that up. Do you want me to tell you? I have to tell you because it's
no,
pretty.
go ahead, tell me. It's
I
fine.
used to like, she died when I was 13. And yes, I was so close to her. I went and spent the last summer with her before she passed. I spent my whole summer with her. And I was in that stage where I wore all black and it drove her crazy because she'd be like, Karina, you look like you're going to a funeral. Stop wearing black. And all my cousins did too. We were in that, rock punk stage or whatever. And so she said
Oh,
to me,
get that.
she had had a few heart attacks. And then she had said on her last heart attack after she knew she was going to be passing, and she said, I don't want anybody wearing black to my funeral. You guys all wear red. Everybody wears something bright and cheery. And so we did. We all wore red to her funeral.
Oh my gosh, I
All
love
the
that so much.
cousins.
Because I
Yeah.
have to tell you, I was like, that's all she showed me was like, I I'm all about vibrant colors in
Yeah,
clothes.
that's her.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's so funny. That's so funny. Um, can you take a connection with I'm really feeling like there's like a love or a passion for music with her.
With her, I'm not
If you
so
can take that,
sure
there's just something
about
it's
music.
really, really interesting. Well, what I'm seeing is what she's showing me is I don't know why. I almost feel like it's in the background noise. Like either she always had like music playing in the background. And I'm not saying like it was like an overwhelming, like she was in the music industry or anything like that. I just feel like was like the radio always on or like a record player or like was there
Um,
always I almost feel like I'm always hearing music somehow in the background.
the music makes sense to me for something else and not someone else, but like I think for one of my kids, because when you said record player, I've been talking about that a lot this week with them.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm
Okay.
thinking that's what she's kind of heading into. Not that I'm leading you, but I think that's
No, no, no,
kind of
that's
what it is.
okay.
But when you said
Okay.
record player, I was like, and music always on. That's one of my kids.
Oh, that's one of your kids. I feel like there's some connection with her though, and it could be, I don't want to jump in the front seat, but I feel like it's like there's a connection with her. I don't feel like it's like I'm not feeling like she's the type that like listen to like really she's using the word like jazzy kind of music. I feel like I'm more listening to like things that just are more soothing.
Hmm.
Um and but I do feel like it's like I don't it's almost like the way that she's describing it to me, it's like almost like um I'm trying to describe this the best way I can because she's wanting to get a point across and I'm trying to figure out where she's going.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's almost like um I don't know whether she managed a lot of different things or I'm like getting like she either like it's almost like music was that piece of her that kept her grounded and she said she's using my words because that wouldn't be her language
That's
but
right.
like I feel like it's like she it was just that kind of thing that brought her peace. Like I feel like that's the best way to describe it.
Hmm.
So and I don't know whether she's bringing this through to give you a message if that helps you. But like I feel like there's something where she's saying it's like almost like it's like a distraction for that part of your brain or that the subconscious that kind of like when you have music playing, you know what I mean? I feel like it like calms you and she's bringing that up. Like I don't know.
Hmm. Well, the music, and I know a lot of psychic mediums out there who do this kind of work and stuff, but for me, when I tap into spirit, usually, I mean, like I can tap into them anywhere I am, but when
Yeah.
I'm at my best is in my healing room with calming music. And that's
Oh,
what
okay,
I
that's where
listen
she's
to
going.
it every time. Like I can't, that's the first thing I
Okay.
do is put on my music.
That's where
So,
she's going. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It was
no,
like one of those
okay.
things where it's like sometimes they take the long way around.
Yes,
Um,
I know. I'm so used to this.
because I just got my symbol for like I got like a green check, and whenever spirit shows me a green check, that means that's
It's on
it.
point. Yeah.
That's on
Hmm.
point.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's her message for you, is like to get that, listen to the music, to kind of just get you into the space, because we did start off with you in a race car.
Yeah, I
You,
know.
you know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So that makes sense that she brought that to the surface. And, I think she's just wanting to help you in any way that she can. And I feel like it's like, she's wanting to go, when you're in that space or that energy where you are feeling like you're going 125 miles an hour, your grandmother is saying, just get that music going in the background, the calming music that will
Hmm.
just bring you back to center. But she's a real firecracker. Like I really love her energy, but she's putting her hand on top of yours, and
Yeah.
it's like, and I feel like there's something to do with connection, and I don't know, is there a connection with her as a healer as well?
I always wondered that. Yeah.
Does she have
Uh,
abilities?
I always wondered that for sure, hands down. Like, I mean, I was 13, like I said, when she passed. And
Yeah, I mean, that's really young.
yeah, so I wouldn't have been able to comprehend that at the time, but I've
Okay.
questioned it my entire spiritual journey. I've always wondered. Um,
Okay. And maybe she's bringing that to fruition to what today, because she keeps focusing on her hand on top of yours. I mean, of course, when I want to say, energetically, I could say that, it's just this enormous amount of love and support for you,
mhm,
but where she's drawing me to or bringing me to energetically, like
mhm,
I feel like she's got some gifts there. Like
mhm,
there's some healing aspects to her. It's like she's placing her hand on top of yours, and I feel like it's like she's either sending you healing energy, or she's letting you know that well, she's sending you healing energy. I just feel like there's a gift there,
mhm,
that she's wanting to share with you, that she's able to just bring through for you.
mhm.
And I want to say, she's kind of funny about this, because I feel like it's like she's wanting you, like I don't know if you're utilizing her enough.
No, I'm
I know
not.
this probably sounds kind of crazy to say, but like she's like, use me, use me. She's like, she's letting you know that she has, I feel like she's telling me she has those abilities. Like she's a healer you can bring in to help you.
Okay, I will
Go
take
grandma.
that. Yeah, I will take that.
That is awesome. Yeah, because I just feel, oh yeah, I just feel like now I've got, and I don't know whether you're feeling it too, but I just feel all this heat coming
Mhm,
up from behind me.
mhm, mhm.
Um,
She's pretty
if
strong.
that's not a sign,
Yeah, I will
no.
take that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah. So
explain a
I
little
want,
more at the end, but yeah.
okay. So
Mhm,
I want to say it's like, and I think, and she's like, Angelique, this is the whole reason why I'm coming through today. Not only to express an enormous amount of love for you, but to let you know that, she's going, you're one and the same, 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 over and over and over again.
mhm.
So, and I think it has to do with healing abilities. I don't even think I know, because
Yeah.
I'm the back of me, like I feel like I need a towel right now, because there's so much heat coming forward from her.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to say, it's when you need her, she's like, don't hesitate to ask. Like it's not,
Okay.
I don't know whether you would feel like you would be bothering her. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I forget to ask really, and
um
I should
yeah,
know
I mean, I
this.
think this is, sometimes we need to be reminded that, like our
We
family
do.
are also a support system for us, and I know it's funny, because like I always love, like I want to say years ago, it's like, don't ask, the uncle who was bad with their finances to help you with money, you know in spirit. That's not who you want to ask, because
That's
they
right.
don't change.
That's it.
But your grandma, like, has the most beautiful healing energy, and I feel like it's like again, she came in with both hands on your shoulders, and letting
Mhm,
you know that she's got your back and she wants to help you. So I want to say, utilize her, because that extra healing energy she's like, it's gonna help you so much. She just wants to help you. She wants to help you.
okay.
And as you know, like, time and space is very different on the other time, on the other side. So it's like, you can ask her a million times and she would be fine with that. I feel like she wants to feel needed. And
Yeah.
and I feel like that's who she was when she was here as well.
Always. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Always.
so she's like, give me a job. I feel like she wants a job.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. I'll give it to you. I need some help.
She wants
So
to help. She wants to help,
amazing.
and she goes, this is who I am. This is my soul. And she's like, and you're everything to her. So I feel like this would mean
Oh,
the world to her for, you to bring her in when you need her. Um, but she's just really beautiful. I don't want to take an enormous amount of we could probably talk for another 2 hours and I could bring in more spirits for you.
mhm.
But I feel like she was the main one. I feel like she pushed a couple people back to step forward. Is that her personality too?
I think she would probably do that when I need her because when I said to you, I was like, there's a whole bunch of spirit with me. And I normally don't feel mine so strongly. I feel everybody else's, but today I was like, holy, they're kind of just crowding me. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah, no, I
like go
love
talk to
that.
her then.
I
Tell
love
her
that.
whatever you want to tell her is fine with me.
I love
Hmm.
that. Beautiful. I'm going to thank her for stepping forward and just give her a big hug and
Yeah.
for coming and giving you messages of lots of love, lots of love. But because I feel like I've got like I could probably read you for another hour.
Oh, I got a lot.
I
I don't
feel
have
like
a
I've
lot,
got
but I have,
grandpa here. Is mom's dad in spirit too?
yeah, I never met him, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. He,
Yeah, I feel like I literally feel like I've got like this whole, and I feel like the interesting thing is I feel like it's a lot more on mom's side.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is
Yeah.
like, yeah, I just feel like I'm connecting to mom's side of the family. And
Hmm.
it could just be, I don't get to pick who
No,
comes forward.
we never do. It's always who's
Yeah. Yeah. But
strongest
it
and who
just
has
felt
the
like I'm getting a
message.
lot of maternal, like just mom energy, like just really strong connections to mom.
I could see
Yeah.
that.
But big hugs to Spirit for just quickly coming through and saying hello with
Yeah,
their very vibrant clothing.
I know. Now, do you want me to tell you a little bit more about her?
Yes, I
What
would
I was gonna
love to
say.
learn. I would love to learn more about her. I think her energy is beautiful.
It's very pure, and
Oh my goodness.
so
Yes. Thank you.
I'm not surprised that she showed up today because when I first started my spiritual journey, I just remember having that internal battle because I grew up in a very Catholic upbringing. And she was the one, I'd go to her house and she'd have like little pictures of Jesus and like candles going everywhere around the pictures and
Mhm.
rosaries. And like she was always going to church. And I always felt like, I think I struggled with that at the beginning was, am I doing something wrong? Would she be disappointed? And when I first started the journey, every time I would be on the Reiki table or someone would do like a little mini reading for me or something as I was learning as well, she would pop in. And I'd be like, oh, she's here again. And so over the years that I've been doing this work, she would always come in and make me feel like she also had the ability. And never got that clear answer, but I always felt it when she would pop in. And she always made it seem like she was so supportive and that I had to do this work, that it wasn't wrong because that's what I was told, by certain family members in the beginning of, well, this work is wrong and you shouldn't be doing that. And I
Yeah.
always thought, gosh, like, is this wrong? And she kept popping in. So one of my healer friends in Maui that I talk about, Susan, I talk about her quite often. And every time I've gone to Maui and she's done healings on me, she'll always say, oh, your mom's here. And she's, coming
Yeah.
in and she would give me all these details and stuff. And I thought, oh my gosh, she really is that strong around me, even though she passed when I was 13. Oh my gosh, I was so close to her. I have 35 first cousins. So, I
Oh
know that
my
I'm sure I know
goodness.
it's a big family.
Yeah.
So I'm sure everybody else felt really close to her too. But I was really, really close to her. Especially the summer before she passed, I, could have been out at 13 years old with my girlfriends and hanging out. And I didn't want to do any of that. I just wanted to be by her side.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. I mean,
when
that was one of the first things
said,
that came through was like
mhm,
she gave me my sign of two peas in a pod.
yeah, I mean, at least I'm not imagining it because I
You're
really was
not.
that close to her. I felt that drawn to her and close to her. And I think out of anybody in the family, I really felt like she understood me. And I'm grateful that she would pop in today because I really forgot to ask. I know this, I teach it, da da da, but I forgot to ask her
I
for
know.
some
I
help, you
totally get
know?
that. Well, that's what, I'm here for to just little reminders, little sticky notes from spirit. I think too, when you were talking about the upbringing of, the Christian background, and I mean, I had the same thing for a while. Like my mom would cry, and
Oh my gosh.
just worried about me being a medium and it's like, all the stigmas that come with it.
Yes.
Um, but your grandma, I mean, I think when you were talking about it, she's like, I think a lot of times, it just she the energy I was getting from her was like I was a lot cooler than people knew. I
Yeah.
feel like it's like there were sides to her that I feel like it's like I feel like she would have loved to just express. And I feel that a lot of times with grandparents that come through in spirit, they just, that generation of just being, I want to say, and I hate using the word robotic, but I feel like they're so conditioned to behave a certain way,
Hmm.
or just fit in a certain mold. But when she shows me her soul, it's like she's all in with you.
I love
she
it.
she's all in. It's just she's so open and excited, and she gets it. She gets, like, I think it's like we leave with all that human ego stuff when we go on the other side, and we're just
Hmm.
so open to going, oh, it's not really about that. It's not
Yeah.
really about that.
There's
But
so much
she's
more.
she's very cool.
I would think so. I mean, I wish that I had more time with her on the earth, but I
Mm,
know that she's here in spirit, and I do. I feel like supported going forward. Like I remember, like I said, when I was first opening up and having those moments of like, oh my God, is this really wrong? Like, this is kind of what I was taught. My mom even said at one point, never go to a psychic, that's bad, it's evil, this and that. And so, of course, I
yeah.
struggled, and then my grandmother would show up in all these like sessions with people, like for my healing and readings and stuff. And I'd be like, oh my God, if she's here, she can't think this is wrong. And then she came right out and said it to a few people. And I thought, okay, here we go. I've got full support, and I have forgotten to call upon her for help because
And
she was
she
so spiritual.
loves it. Yeah, she loves it. And I think, I think it's just hard when they're here, and especially something like that, and having, healing abilities.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, how do you tell someone? I feel like that was like a secret for her. And I think she, to be
For
honest with you,
sure.
the energy that I feel from her is like she wanted to shout from the mountaintops that she had this ability, but she couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really have always a lot of people have asked me that too. Where did you get this ability? Who did it come from? Anyone else in your family? And I'm like, I'm not so sure, but I've always strongly felt that it was on my mother's side. And
Yeah.
that just confirmed it for me today too, because I knew somewhere, like, we don't just, come into the world and just magically have the crazy ability to connect with spirit. I think it does come through the families and generations, and it gets passed down, and some people close it off and turn it off, and some people like you and I are open to it, and we decide that we're going to do something with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Hmm.
I mean, my awakening didn't happen. I mean, I hate talking about my age out loud. I have to just embrace the fact. But
Yeah.
I'm 55 now, and I was 42 when I want to say the first time I felt spirit around me. Oh, I
Yep.
shouldn't say that. I've always felt spirit around me. I always
Push it
just got
away.
I
Yeah.
pushed it away because and when I started thinking back, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I felt spirit like my whole life. I always thought I was just a little crazy,
Well,
or it just
same.
scared me. I had so many reference points over my lifetime, but I never really associated it with an ability, I guess you
Yeah.
could say.
I get that.
Um,
Yeah. Hmm.
so I was 42. Like I would say I was, it's
Yeah,
just crazy. It's
I was
crazy to think about.
37. Hmm.
Yeah, it's just wild. It's wild. Yeah, I forget, there was this incredible, and I'm going to apologize because I forget his name. But he had said, when we awaken to these abilities, we don't get like a Hogwarts letter
Hmm.
that says, welcome, you
Yeah,
can now
you
train
did
and
it.
your abilities are
Yeah.
open. And I just love that. I feel so bad that I don't remember his name. He's a, incredible psychic medium, but when he said that, I was like, oh, I'm totally going to use that. And I'm sorry if I can't remember his
I
name.
don't know who that
Um,
is, so it's neat though.
um, but he had said it was like, I was listening to a podcast one day and I just love that so much because it's so true. And I've heard so many mediums say, it's not like, when you're going to career counseling in school,
That's
and you're
right.
like, I want to be a psychic medium.
That's right.
Um, it's definitely a calling. I really believe it's a calling.
Yeah, I do
You
too.
know, and it's such a beautiful, beautiful gift to have, to be able to. Sometimes I feel like I learn more from people who've passed over than, you
The
know,
living. Hmm.
than the living.
Same, for real. And I know you and I've discussed sometimes how we take on a lot and how it can be difficult and overwhelming some days. And we're like, oh my gosh, when are we going to get that break? But when does anyone ever get the break, I suppose, right? We're just supposed to
Yeah.
be here doing this work and continuing on. And I'm sure you can say the same thing. Some days we believe that this is the most amazing gift. And then there's other days where we can sometimes view it as a curse because it can be difficult and taxing on our souls as well. But I know both of us are meant to do it and we have to keep going.
We have to keep going. Yes, for sure. I mean, it's I think the hardest part for me is not so much the medium work and the psychic work. 'Cause I mean, sometimes it's really hard. It depends on the reading. Some of them are, I'm sure
Hmm.
are hilarious.
Yeah.
You get a spirit that comes through and you get the dad with the barbershop mustache and he's showing you him mowing the lawn and how funny he is. And I mean it's without his shirt on, or just like really funny antics that spirit loves to share with you,
Yeah. Those are fun. Yeah.
and then there's days where, you get a child who's passed away and like,
Oh, yeah.
and, or you get someone who lost their mom and, and being both a mother and having a child. And, it's like all of those emotions just, they hit you hard.
They do. We
Um,
take it on sometimes too.
Oh my
Right.
goodness. And, so a couple of times, like I've cried in my car on the drive home and, you
Same.
know, just wondering, how these people can get out of bed.
Yeah.
But I think as much as we can say all day long, we know that our souls are infinite and that our loved ones are always around us. We know it's not the same. Anyone who's suffered loss knows that it's not easy to move forward when we lose someone that we're very close to.
It's really
So
hard. Hmm.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm grateful that you and I have the ability to validate other people's loved ones, but it doesn't make the grief any easier. Or maybe it does to a certain degree, I suppose. But I think when you lose someone that you're really, really close to, I think we're all going to hurt for forever until we meet them again. That's just part of grief. But it's hard. I don't know. I just find being a medium and sitting in others' pain sometimes you just want to take it from them. And I know we can't, but
Yeah.
all we can do is just validate their existence and try our best to be there to hold them up and hold space for them as they grieve.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, and my hope is always that they'll leave the session feeling a little bit lighter that day,
Yeah,
you
that's why we
know.
continue doing the work, I think.
Mm.
Otherwise, if it was, just so heavy and stuff, I don't think spirit would want to connect with them that way. It's to definitely lighten the the load a little bit and to,
Yeah.
show them that they're really not gone. But it's hard, like we're in the physical world and it's like I can see them out of the corner of my eye. They can move things and all of these experiences that we can't deny. Yet, we're lucky, you and I, that we can have those conversations with people's loved ones. But for our own, and correct me if I'm wrong, I can't hear, like, my dad's passed, my grandmother, all these people, I can't hear them the way that I do for everyone else. I wish I could, but I
Yeah.
can't. So I understand how it is. We do wish that we could have that one conversation,
Yeah. There's times where it's so funny. It's like sometimes I have to be careful what you wish for, Angelique.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
you because I'm just like, oh, I would love to see an apparition. I'm like, do you really? Do you really wish you could see an apparition? I mean, and I've had like little mini things like that, but like with loved ones and stuff. And there have been like, I want to say a few times where my dad in spirit, like when I've meditated, like I literally felt him sitting on the sofa next to where I was meditating. And and it's always when there's like a really important message that needs to come through, I'll
Yeah.
get little trickles, but like to your point, I want to say the only time I usually hear like relatives coming through is like if I decide to take a workshop or something. Someone brings some through because I'm always wanting to expand my abilities and I feel
Yeah.
like the growing and the learning never ends.
No, that's
Um,
true.
but yeah, that's usually the only time. And most of the time I'm like, I don't know where the information is coming from, but I just thank my spirit family all the time for whoever brings me through little messages, especially when I'm getting in my own way.
Hmm.
I'm like, whoever is giving me this message, thank you. Thank you
That's
very
right.
much.
Exactly. I will take it. Thank you for
I
being
will
there.
take it. I don't know that this is a family member, a spirit guide, an angel. It doesn't matter. Thank
But I
you.
will
Just
take it.
thank you.
Yeah,
I will
because
take it. I will take it. I
yeah,
feel like I've got some sassiness on the other side, though.
yeah, I'm sure.
For
I'm sure
for
you do.
sure.
I think I do too, because I'm pretty sassy in this life. So it's like
Oh my
I
goodness.
wouldn't be surprised, and I'm one of those people that you have to tell it to me straight because I like people to be just so direct with me because I'm so direct with them. And that's how I hear my guides on the other side. When I'm doing something, they're like, Karina, don't do that. I'm like, okay, all right, I heard you. I heard that loud and clear, because a lot of times
Oh,
we
for
don't listen,
sure.
but they will yell at me like that, like really just straight up, because I know that if they were to whisper it in my ear, give it to me in a little like lighter way, I won't listen because I'm
Yeah.
stubborn. So,
It's so true. I feel like when I've gotten messages like that from my guides, I'm stopped in my tracks because it's almost like literally someone standing next to you and I hear something clairaudiently and I'm just like, Okay, I
sure.
hear you. I got you. I got the message. I got the message.
Yeah.
It's when those
Uh,
instances happen, I
mhm.
just, I don't even hesitate.
Hmm. Yeah, same. Same,
Yeah,
because I think that's our intuition at its best. That's them communicating. And sometimes we ignore it. Yes, it's
I
true.
know.
But most times we try our best to listen because when and I've talked about this in another episode, and I can't remember which episode, but I think what others think that it sounds like to us being clairaudient is they think it's some man's voice or like a really strong, woman's voice or something like that, but it's actually not. It's our own voice. It's not our thought, right? So if anybody out
Oh, yeah,
there
yeah. No, that's
is
very
trying to
different.
listen too, yeah, like if you
Very
guys are all
different.
out there, the listeners, and you're trying to decipher, is that a message from my guides or my loved ones? Always think of it this way. It will be in your own voice, but it's going to be not your thought. So my thought would be, I better take out the garbage. Whereas spirit's voice would be like, you shouldn't take out the garbage at that time of night. It's dangerous or whatever it is, and that's how we have to learn how to decipher it and listen. And I mean, even as mediums, we're not always great at it, at listening, but we try our best, right?
We do. And I think that's part of the journey and part of the learning and the growing. And
Hmm.
and I always laugh because like I'll know, that this is probably not the best choice for me. And
Yes.
I'll know my
Mhm.
intuition is like, do you really want to do that,
Yeah.
Angelique? Do
Don't do it.
you?
Don't
Do
do it. Don't
you?
do it. Are
And
you
then I'm like,
sure?
Yeah, I kind of want to
Want to
see.
learn. Yeah.
I do have free will. Yeah, and then it goes exactly how I knew it was going to happen because
Yes. Oh
I
my
didn't
God.
listen to my intuition. And
Yep.
then I'm like, well, I did know. I did know. I didn't
Yep.
know in the beginning, but and I think that's part of, like, I want to say that's part of the
Human
spiritual
existence.
journey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We
You
have
know,
to
when
learn.
you, yeah, when you can sit in that space and really acknowledge afterwards that, like, yeah, I knew going in that that was not a wise choice, but I wanted to explore the option anyway.
Yeah.
um I think that's when you get a lot of personal growth in there after, is
You
learning
level
to
up.
kind of know your voice, that inner voice,
It's
whether
so
you listen to it
true.
or not.
That's right. It's like these are life lessons. That's how it
Oh,
goes,
for
right?
sure.
So
For sure.
got it.
I'm just
Yeah.
so grateful for I mean, I could talk to you for hours, and I mean, how often do you get to talk to someone about your mediumship and your psychic stuff? It's just such a beautiful world to live in. So thank you so much for the opportunity to, not only bring through your very cool grandma, but then to
Yeah.
tap into your guides a little bit and give you a
Oh
message.
gosh, I needed that message, Angelique. I'm so grateful that you tapped into that because it's I know what it meant and I'm very grateful that they went through you to pass that on to me and I think it's important that we do have other psychic mediums in our life because we can't always see for ourselves and also someone else who gets this crazy world,
I know.
because I'll message you out of nowhere. I'm like, because we've been chatting and stuff, and you'll say, "Oh my God, the energy." I'm like, I know, right? Like you're feeling it too. And
Like, oh
and
my
so, but
God.
you and I both get it, and you're in the States and I'm here in Canada, and yet we're feeling the same thing at the same time. That tells me there's something bigger than us that's happening around us. And it's nice to have someone that gets it. And I'm grateful that I have my circle as do you, our
Yeah.
students and friends and things that are and other healers that are really part of our world because I think we'd think that we were absolutely nuts if we were on our own with this. So I'm really grateful
Oh
that we met
my
too.
goodness, yes. That's why it's like such a joy to do this, because it's like, oh, I get to talk about it. I get to talk about it.
And it's normal.
Um, I
Yes.
know, I know, I know. It's just it's such a lovely space to be in. So thank you so, so much for the opportunity, and this is pushing me outside my comfort zone. So this is yay, I get to check this off in my I did it. I
Well,
did it.
same. Look at me. Same. Sitting here going, "Oh my God, my hair's standing. Don't make me cry." Which you did. But no, I think it was definitely out of both of our comfort zones. But
Mm.
Spirit clearly wanted us to do it, so I'm going to thank them
Oh, thank you,
in
Spirit.
spirit. And Angelique, I really want to thank you so much for coming on here today and really delivering those messages from spirit and from my grandmother and for trusting me to be on here. And I want to thank you all so much for joining us and listening to our little shenanigans here today. Um, and if you would like to book a reading with Angelique, you can find her at www.walkingom.com. That is WALKINGOM.com. And if you would like to book a reading with me, I can be reached at www.divinemessages.ca or on Instagram at divinemessages333 or at the Divine Messages podcast. Please bear in mind that the perspectives and opinions represented in this podcast are based solely on the Divine Messages interpretations. We can in no way be held responsible for the actions of our followers.